Arturo, thank you so much for being here today. I want to quickly introduce you. You're in your third year, so you're very new to the industry. And in August, last month, you did 13 loans, 13 closings in that 1 month. You have 81 loans year to date. Again, we're recording this early September. It's actually 9/11. Unfortunately, our thoughts and prayers to the people that we lost.
Sure.
You hired your first personal assistant. You just turned 26 years old. You're a homeowner. As a 26-year-old, you have no debt outside of the mortgage, and you're making multiple six figures. And again, all by the age of 26. How is your life?
It's great. I'm blessed. I've been very blessed. Just work-wise and personal life-wise. So it's been really good. I would say just in the past 2 to 3 years for sure. It was a little different, starting off, but I've been definitely very blessed the last 2 years for sure. So, and thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Of course, it's always nice to have people that are new in their career and they're excelling very fast to see what steps they took. So did you start right after college, or did you have another job or career before this?
I wanted to. I had a buddy who was working. He was doing refis in San Diego. He was making a lot of money. I saw the nice cars. He lived in this penthouse overlooking the ocean. So I was in college, majoring in finance. I initially wanted to be essentially some type of financial analyst or something of that sort. Reached out to my buddy because I just wanted to know what he did for work, because I didn't know anyone else aside from him that made money. And he told me that he did mortgages. That's all he said. He said, I do mortgages. I was like, okay, cool. So I started looking into it a little bit. I didn't want to ask him if I could work for him because I just kind of wanted to do it on my own. Looking back, I probably should have just reached out, but wanted to do it on my own. So through college, I had an internship for the state of California. I was just working as an intern. Right after college, they hired me full time. So I was working there. I was working in the accounting department. Really super easy. Finished my work by 12 o'clock, and I was basically just watching Netflix the rest of the day at work. And funny enough, my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, she was looking for jobs for herself. Thank you. She was looking for jobs for herself. I was kind of just where I was at. Wasn't really looking, but she was looking for a job. She found a mortgage loan officer assistant role posting. And she said, hey, didn't you want to do this? And I was like, yeah, I did. And she just sent it to me. And then it took me a while. It took me like a week. And then I applied, loan officer assistant. It was super weird. It was just like an assistant role, but they made me go through like 4 interviews to get the job. And it was like a $30K starting salary. So it took a very, I was making like 60 to 70,000 at the state job. And the guy who hired me, basically, who I started with, his name's Cody. He was my mentor when I first started, basically taught me mortgage. He said, hey, I'll pay you 30,000 if you be my LOA, and I'll show you the ropes. And he's like, hey, in a year or two, you'll be making 200,000-300,000 a year. All right, cool. So that's basically how I started. So that was probably 7 months after I graduated college is when I started applying for the mortgage. So I graduated college in May of 2021, and I started as a loan officer assistant in February of 2022. So it was a few months after. So it wasn't right away. It was a few months after.
So how is life as a loan officer compared to being a state employee? The goods and the bads.
I mean, the good, obviously, it's a lot better financially, way better financially. No. So I personally don't know anyone besides my friend in San Diego, like family, who made really anything over 60,000. So I never, I never knew what it was like. So the financial benefit is pretty crazy. I help my family a lot. If my nieces or nephew, I don't have any kids, but if like my nieces or nephews need, or even if my sisters needed anything, or my parents, it feels good that I'm able to help and I don't have to worry about it. So on that standpoint, it's huge. It's like night and day. I guess the bad part is when I was working for the state, when I would clock out, that was it. I get to go home, chill, weekends, chill. Now it's completely different ballgame. I'm basically on the clock 24/7 for the most part. So I'm in office Monday through Friday, but I also work weekends as well. So
I There can be pros and cons. So I was a state employee too. I was a social worker for state of
Okay.
Massachusetts, and very similar. Like I hope no one in state of Massachusetts HR department is watching this, but I probably gave it like 10% of my ability, and I was still like a
Oh,
top performer in the state because nobody like does anything. It just wasn't much, and like by
right.
12 I was done, and like you can do whatever. I actually enjoy that the work doesn't stop. So, and the good thing for us, I think, as loan officers, is that we get rewarded for our performance, not for hours.
For sure.
So, if we are good, we get more. So we have that like no turning it off for someone who likes to excel, likes to win, and enjoys this work generally can be actually a positive. And for those of people that saying like, hey, you need a break, I agree with you. I also don't believe in work for work's sake alone. I think like there needs to be results, but we get the chance to create systems so we can have the downtime that we want, that we don't have to kill ourselves.
No, 100%.
So what was your process? So start us with when you went from LOA to loan officer, and what that transition looked like.
It was tough. So the company I was with, it was a local broker here in the area that I'm in now. It was all trigger leads. That's all we were calling. We didn't have any other lead source. Because the guys that were my managers, they were at Wells Fargo, they were at these retail companies that all they did was refis. So all we were basically doing was calling trigger leads. And that was tough because brand new LO, I knew how to structure a loan. I knew everything about underwriting guidelines, but I didn't know how to sell. I had zero sales experience when I started in 2023. So you can probably imagine I'm a fresh LO, no sales experience, and I'm trying to call trigger leads who are getting blown up by hundreds of other loan officers. So it's pretty bad. I think my first year, I was able to survive. I funded 8 or 9 loans, I think, something like that. But because the company was spending so much money on the leads and the systems, our commission structure was really bad. So I was basically living paycheck to paycheck. And I probably made exactly what I would have made at the state if I would have just stayed. So my first year was tough. I would get in, and then we were commission only, but they would want us in there at whenever we're able to call. I think it's 8 a.m. Right at 8 a.m. calling for like 5 hours. And then after the 5 hours were done, it might not have been 5 hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours. Then we would have to go back and do follow up on any ones that we maybe spoke to the day before. So it was tough. It was trigger lead only, and no one at that company had any real estate partners, so they didn't really know how to go out and attract real estate agents to send us their business. So I didn't even know about that. I didn't even know that real estate partners were a huge part of mortgage. And just like a quick side note, it wasn't until they hired these 2 new guys who were also brand new, and they started crushing it right away, like 4 or 5 loans a month right away. And I was like, I started before you. Why is it working for you and not me? And they basically told me what they were doing. They're like, hey, we're out prospecting agents, providing value to them. That's how we're able to do it. So that's where it kind of shifted.
Amazing. I love it. So tell us what your business looks like right now. Where does your business come from mainly?
I would say it's split 33% in 3 ways: realtor referrals, social media, and then just word of mouth and past client referrals.
Interesting. Okay. I'd love to go deeper in all 3 of those pillars. That's a healthy business. I love 3 pillar businesses. 4 is too much for, I think, most loan officers. Is too much
Yeah.
diversion of energy. 3 is perfect. How many realtor partners do you work with?
I was looking, I think in the last 12 months I've closed with probably like 25 to 30 different agents, but I would say I have like 8 to 9 solid ones who basically send me everything and keep me the most busy. And I have like 4 top producers that crush it and just send me everything too.
So you
So
have 8 that basically are sending you maybe like 60% of your realtor business.
for sure. And then the other one, like I'll get, like I had a realtor reach out to me yesterday saying that they got recommended by another realtor. So I get a lot of that too, which that's the best referral to me. That's better than a realtor referring a client. A realtor referring a realtor is huge because it's another business partner that is doing what they're doing. So they have mutual
How
interest.
did you meet your 8 realtors? Do you remember?
Yeah, so basically how I did it way different, and it's going to be tough for a lot of people to do it this way, but basically I was doing everything that I could to find a lead that wasn't a realtor referral, and I would reach out to an agent and I would give them the lead. So social media, a family referral, a trigger lead. The first two agents I got were from trigger leads. So I was calling trigger leads, and basically the way I started shifting my business with the trigger leads, I didn't even care if they used me for the loan. I just would basically focus, hey, do you have a real estate agent? If you don't, I know a really good realtor in the area. You should work with them instead. And I would push the lead to the agent. So that's how I got most of them. And maybe like 2 of those 8 were referrals from other realtors.
Wow.
But that's how I did it. I never like went sit down coffee. Hey, I have the best products, fastest closings. I didn't do that because I personally didn't think it would work because everyone was doing that. So I kind of tried to shift it.
You
And no one
basically,
told me to do that. I just thought that that would work better than trying to solicit with a coffee date.
I love it. So you just found a way to give something to a realtor, and
Yes,
you figured if you do that enough times, you'll get realtors to send you business.
100%. Yeah, I've gotten realtors to switch that were working with their lender for years, and I send them one lead and they just switch business over, which I think is crazy.
So how many realtors do you think roughly you gave leads until you got your 8 like main realtors now?
Um, it depends. I mean, maybe probably like 15. I don't know. Some of them, what I was doing early that I messed up on, I was going after really, really new agents
Mm.
and they weren't as motivated, I guess. So it was kind of just like a dead lead at one point. They weren't really doing opens. They weren't doing any social media. So it was tough. So that's why I had to switch.
So you generated, let's say, like be conservative and say 20 leads, and you gave those 20 leads to 20 different realtors, and you got 8 of them to now are essentially sending you 15, 20 deals a year.
For sure.
Wow, look at that. That's awesome. But you mainly used your trigger leads, right? Or did you do
Not
other?
necessarily. At first I was, but I mean, the trigger leads are terrible and no one really cared about those. But like I would again do the social media thing, trying to get clients that way. I would go to my the little past clients I had that would refer me business. I would send to an agent. Anything I could. I think I got very lucky because not my first year. First year was awful. First year was terrible. My second year, I started getting a lot of personal referrals from family, friends, and those are super easy handoffs to the agents.
Mhm.
So in return, they just started flooding me with business. I literally just got in contact with an agent probably not even 6-7 months ago. 25 plus deals a year. She was using another lender, and in the last 6 months, maybe 7 months, I've referred her to probably 5 deals already that have closed.
And she's sending you.
She's sending me everything, even if they're already approved. She like kind of obligates the clients to get a second opinion with me.
Okay, so you're getting about like you've sent her 5 closings, and she sent you minimum 5 closings, maybe more.
Oh, we're probably at like 8 closings from her now. Maybe even
Wow.
after this month, it'll probably be 9.
Wow.
Yeah,
I want to switch. I'm going to come back to realtors later, but it seems like a lot of the foundation that you use the realtor business with comes from the social media stuff as well. So
for sure.
how, I guess the first question, what platform do you mainly use for your?
Instagram and Facebook are the 2 biggest ones that I use, and I get a bunch of leads from both.
So how do you do it? How do you use social media to generate leads?
So 2 things. The first thing is the quality of the videos. I know a lot of LOs and realtors are like, it doesn't matter, just pick up your phone, record, and post something. Do it like I used to have a coach, Amir. I love you for watching this. He would just say, dude, just record and post it. Honestly, I think that's kind of bullshit. It looks way better if you have a good camera and good editing. It just makes you look more professional. So if you take a look at my Instagram, all my videos are, I think they're high quality and they're really good editing. And we have a camera guy that's in here that I pay monthly actually on a retainer to record for me. I forgot to mention that. So the quality of the videos, and I think the way or like the type of videos I do. So at first I was just kind of like, hey, sit down, record me, and I'm going to talk about something. Those did okay, but weren't really doing that well. So I think what really changed the game for me was I started going, no, this for sure changed the game. I'm sorry. I started going to the closings and I would bring the camera guy, and we would make it this huge thing. We would do the champagne popping, the poppers, get them like TV. Like, we just made it a huge deal. Like, wow, because it is. You just bought a house, right? This is huge. A lot of them are first generation home buyers, first time buyers. Once I started doing that and recording it and posting it on Instagram, that completely changed the social media game. I started getting so many leads. A bunch of realtors wanted to work with me. And what was the other thing? Yeah, the realtors, the closing videos just really helped. So that was for sure.
Amazing. Can I offer one suggestion to make that even more effective? If evidence of success, which is the closing, is getting you a lot of results, have different milestones for evidence of success, like pre-approval. So I get a lot of my referrals, and I've gotten, and I teach it to my branch to get asked for referrals at pre-approval, because that's the happiest the client ever will be. And I ask people to do it over a video call, so you get the visual person. And especially first-time home buyers, sometimes they even cry if you make a big deal. So
For
if
sure.
you get to highlight the graphics of all the people as well, to as they're like pre-approved and they're crying, that could be another great montage for social media.
That's a good idea. I'm definitely going to try that.
Yeah, because it seems more like I think it seems more attainable to people, that it's not just like one big purchase as well. It can be really good,
100%.
and you'll get more referrals from clients as well. That is really cool. So if I can break it down a little bit, what it's working is like you're combining great content, like high quality content, I'm guessing informational, plus evidence of success with like the closings and everything else. So now people come to you for content, but they trust that you're also good because they see that evidence with the
Yeah.
closings. And now do they reach out to you, or do you reach out to them? How does it work?
For the clients or for the realtors?
For the leads that you're getting, may it be realtors?
Oh, so from Instagram, they'll just DM me, or they'll DM me directly, or they'll comment on one of my videos and I'll reach out. That's Instagram only. For Facebook, the social media guy that I have, he's running meta ads for my closing videos. With that, so it's boosted in my area and in the Bay Area. So no joke, I'll probably get like 5. So it has a closing video. It has some information on the caption, and it has a link to a website for me that goes to my CRM, and it has some 5 questions, and then they submit it, and it basically gives me all their information I would need to give a rough idea of what they're approved for and if they could move forward. I probably get like 5 a day.
You get 5 leads a day just from those.
Just from that.
What's the conversion for like, let's take it one step at a time, from lead to even a conversation?
So from lead to conversation, super easy. I would say 90% of them answer because they go directly. They're clicking on my video, and they're putting, like, they have to put their information in. It's not like click here. They have to put their name, number, how much they make, how much they have for a down payment, and how much they make monthly. So when I call them, they are like, they know who I am. It's not like, hey,
wow.
They always say, hey, yeah, I watched your video and I wanted more information. Whether they qualify or not, this is like a fresh lead, doesn't know anything about anything. They just want to get information about the home buying process. So I probably started doing this. I'm very new to the boosting on Meta. I probably started doing it 3 to 4 months ago. I didn't know it was going to do that well. So it kind of shocked me a little bit. I didn't really know what to do. Because I was still obviously getting my realtor referrals, my normal social media referrals, word of mouth, and then all these ones coming in. So I'd say for the first 2 months, I kind of was just like, I'll get to those when I get to them. It's just, I don't really have a process. Then I hired my assistant maybe like 2-3 months ago, and I had her start helping on the front end. So whenever they would apply, she would just send a text. Well, she'll send a text message, hey, when are you free for a call? And they'll just let us know, and then we'll give them a call.
Wow. So it's not even a conversation. You're getting like 5 leads, but you're getting like 2 or 3 applications out of those 5 leads every day.
Pretty much. I mean, all of them, everyone who submits, they basically fill out an application. I would really basically just need to call and confirm where they work at, how long they've been working there, and then just have them send me docs.
And what's the conversion from application, let's say, to pre-approval?
So far, it's tough. I just now kind of started focusing on working those leads well. So I probably have like a handful of pre-approvals from it. I'm just now like going back and trying to sort through them and call. I missed a lot of those leads. I missed probably 100 that I probably still haven't even spoken to.
Wow. Okay. It was just too much coming at the beginning.
Yeah,
But so let's say in the
I
past
didn't
2 weeks.
realize. And the way we did it, so a lot of my business is Spanish, and we targeted Spanish only.
Mm,
So in my county in the Bay Area, there's a lot of Spanish clients, and all the videos we boosted were in Spanish. So it's a really big market out here for Spanish. So
yeah.
they just keep like
Man, this is brilliant. I
I
love it.
probably so just this morning I've already gotten 2 people that have submitted their I get these little notifications that submitted their application. So
Oh my God, I love this. This is so innovative. Just so all it is like your closings, a video of
yeah,
your closings, but
yeah,
like
it's
it's edited to make it look cool and
yeah, it
fun.
looks
Grab
cool.
attention.
Everyone's happy. Everyone wants that feeling of buying a house. So it's what's been working for sure.
You haven't closed anyone from it yet because you just started to focus on it.
Yeah. I think once we lock in, probably in the next 30 days, we'll get a closing for sure.
Amazing. And what's your budget for that?
I spend I have my guy Logan who also does my videos. For his retainer to just run the whole thing and run my CRM, I pay him $1,000 per month,
Great.
which is not it's
It's a
not
great
bad.
deal.
And then I also pay for the ads themselves. I think I'm paying, I can't remember, honestly. It was really bad that I don't remember, but I think I pay $40 per day to boost the ad.
That's not that much either.
No, so I think maybe like 2,500 a month for that whole thing.
You get one closings out of it, like you literally pay for everything.
Yeah. And then another thing that I've been doing is let's say I can't call the lead and let's say I get a Sacramento lead and I can't call it. I'll just hit up a real estate agent. I'm like, hey, I can't call this lead. Can you call really quick? And they're like, oh yeah, give me the lead. And then they just call. And
So
that
you're
helps.
going back to what you were doing. So now you're leveraging it 2 ways to not only get a deal, but to get a realtor as well.
Yeah, that's been another little cheat code too. So that's been a big help with the
That's
agents
incredible.
because it is a
So
lot to call through all of them.
it's a lot, especially, if you're closing 13 loans a month, you're getting 5 social media, just one channel leads, not even all of your social media, just ads leads, plus all the referrals you're getting and their social media. It's a lot of work. I'm
Yeah.
glad you hired a assistant. I want to go back to the realtors for a second. What do you think is your capacity for how many realtors you can handle? And the realtors that you handle are like, think of your 8 best ones. Like, how many more like that you can handle?
Honestly, man, I think right now with those 8 best ones, I think I could really only handle how we have it right now, maybe like 3 more that would just consistently send. It's tough for sure. I would have to like cut off something like social media maybe. Because it's funny, I was talking to Thomas and he basically asked me like, hey, do you want to start doing more outbound to realtors and get a few more? And my right away I said, no, I'm okay. I don't want to. It's
Yeah.
just I don't think I have I think if I try to bring on more, it will affect the current relationships that I have, which I don't want to do. So I would rather just stick with those until I figured out how I could bring on more. I don't think I'm at capacity loan wise. I right now the way I have it, I could for sure do 20 a month consistently and
Wow.
still be fun. But with another realtor who would just be sending more business, I think like 2 max maybe.
Okay. I'm glad you recognize, and this is something I wish more loan officers recognize, that there's actually a limit to how many referral partners we can serve. Like truly serve. Like it's one thing like if you have people sending you one deal a year and they never talk to you, even that takes energy because we have to do some outreach to them. But like when it comes to true partners, it's pretty limited. I think like most people cap out at 5. You have staff, you literally like have people helping you. So you were saying like maybe
Right.
10 or 11 is what I can handle. And I think like 10 is like a really great place to be. And it's just about growing and upgrading it because you have fall off. Some people just never want to grow and happy. And like
Right.
10 people that send you, let's say 6 deals a year each, that's 60 deals right there. That's really great place to be. And that's
Right.
on top of everything else that you as a loan officer can get. Amazing. Now let's go to your friends, family, past clients, and general referrals. Do you have a process in place for that? Or is it just you don't even do
No,
anything and you get it?
no, I mean, I had a coach for a few months, and the biggest thing he told me was you need to add all your friends and all your family on Facebook and Instagram, and then just keep posting. You have to keep posting. That's how you're going to keep their attention. That's how, because I know a lot of LOs will do like holiday mailers or stuff like that. He said, don't do any of that. Just have everyone on social media and keep posting. That way they know what you're doing. So yeah, I'll just get a message. Hey, I see what you're doing. I want to buy a house. Like, what do I need to do? And then it's just like a normal, after that, it's just a normal pre-approval process.
So it's like your method for getting a lot of referrals, like let's remove realtors, just friends and family, is like just content on social media and be available to take transfer messages. Are you doing any outreach on social media or no?
No, not at the moment, or I haven't been.
Okay. Do you have a lead magnet? So
No.
it's just people DMing you like, hey, I'm interested.
Yeah.
How often
Or
do you
filling
post?
out.
How
Sorry, what
often
was
are
that?
you posting?
I slowed down a little bit because of how busy I got, but on my story every day on my story, I post something. Whether it's a closing, a clear to close, anything. My story at least once or twice a day. The posts have slowed down a little bit. I think I'm doing like one a week now, but I'll probably pick it up here in the this later part of the year. I'll probably start going like every other day. That's what I was doing before. Every other day I was posting.
Got it. Very nice. And do you post personal, like what kind of content are you posting like on the daily stuff?
Clear to closes are a big one. So I got a clear to close. Here you go. I'll clear to close in 3. Well, UWM will send out clear to close in 5 days or whatever. I'll post that. Sometimes if I get a good approval out, I'll just take a quick snap pic of it. Hey, another pre-approved buyer. Stuff like that. I'll reshare posts. I'll reshare agents, home tours, stuff like that. That's mainly what it is.
Do you post any personal stuff?
Oh yeah, here and there. I that's one thing I think I do lack on social media is I don't post enough personal stuff, but I'll probably switch that up a little bit.
Amazing. You have a really well-built business, and it seems like the foundation is the social media. What do you think, or what do you know is your value add to your clients?
I think the biggest thing for me, at least in my area, is I'll focus on the Spanish clients. There's a lot. It sucks to say, but it's really easy to take advantage of a Spanish buyer because all the documents are in English. Most of them don't even speak English, can't read English. So you can, send out a loan estimate with a, 2-3 points with a high rate, and they would have no idea because you can just kind of go over it really quick and they wouldn't know anything. They would think that's just how loans work. So I think the difference for me, and there's a lot of lenders in my area that do that, and they make a ton of money on 1-2 deals a month. So I think for me, I really like explain the process. The biggest thing that I do on the first initial call is I explain to them what I do because no one really knows. So I tell them, hey, I'll go in and I review your income, I review your credit. So I'm going to look at pay stubs, W-2s. I'm going to do an income calculation. I'm going to look at your credit report. I tell them what I'm going to look at on the credit report. And once I do those 2 things, I can let you know what you qualify for. And then I go shop around, see what lenders have the best rates, see if you qualify for any down payment assistance. So them just knowing what I do and what I'm going to do with the document, because they're sensitive documents, what I'm going to do with the documents they send over, it helps a lot. And then I do a lot of my are in person or over Zoom. So we get that face-to-face. So it builds that trust. And then I really just explain it to them, the difference between paying points, not paying points, the good and the bad of down payment assistance. So I think that's what realtors really want. And that's what clients really want, is just to know what's going on. And I think I do a pretty good job of doing that. I could definitely be better, but I think I do a good job for now that they know. If in their head they know what's going on and they feel like they're in control, then that would just build all the trust right there.
Makes sense. What percentage of your business would you say is Spanish speaking clients?
It's probably like 70.
70. Okay, wow. So that is really like your niche, the Spanish speaking community. And like your social media content is
it'll vary monthly, but 60 to 70, I would say.
And is your social media also geared to Spanish speakers?
For the most part, yeah. I'd say 50-50 Spanish English, but a lot of it is Spanish. Like my Instagram bio says Spanish mortgage broker. which was my
Uh,
content guy's idea.
Gotcha. So a lot of, and me included, a lot of people speak a second language, but not like business level. Is your Spanish to the point where like you can explain everything like in business
For
as
sure.
well?
It was tough at first because a lot of the mortgage terms don't translate directly into Spanish. So you kind of have to go more in depth. It takes a little longer. But yeah, I Spanish or English, I can go in depth and explain the whole process and they'd know exactly what was going on.
So it takes some reps to like get used to speaking in a second language, like the mortgage terms, but once you get it, it's fine.
Yeah, it
Got it.
probably took me a few months to kind of, because no one, like even in Spanish, they're not going to know what a conventional loan is, or that's just like anything, right? But you kind of got to really, really go in deep on what those things mean. You just won't have any idea.
I love it. Would you say you're a process oriented person or kind of like you're just get work done?
I would say I'm 50-50. I'm trying to switch over to more process oriented and just like follow a system because I know that'll help me do more loans. So I'd say I'm about 50-50 right now.
Perfect.
It
So
just
before
depends.
we go into process, let's talk about your goal and where you want to take your business. What is your ultimate goal for your business?
My ultimate goal, like what I'm really, really, really working towards, aside like from helping as many families and giving them the best experience, that's obviously number one. I want to just give everyone a really, really great experience towards that. So when we go to closing, they're super happy. They love me. They want to refer me everyone. That's my main goal. Numbers wise, I want to be at 20 loans a month every month, no matter what. That's like my numbers, 20 every month, no matter what.
I love it. And you told me before we started your loan sizes are about $400,000 a loan on average. So that's 8 million a month in volume.
Right.
That's a great place to be. When do you want to get there?
That I don't know. I'm hoping within the next 6 to 12 months because I'm still trying to kind of figure all these processes and systems down and see kind
Sorry, I
of how I
missed it.
want
When do you want to get there?
in the next 6 to 12 months for sure.
Okay. It's a big jump because you're doing 13 now at 20. If you want to do 7 more, that's almost a 50% increase.
It's huge.
Yeah, so you have to increase your business by almost, you got to double. I've seen at your size, 20% jump is like very doable, like comfortable. Not that 50% is unrealistic, it's just really uncomfortable. So are you
For sure.
prioritizing speed or are you prioritizing like actually build the foundation, do it in a comfortable way?
I would say in the last 6 months, I've been trying to prioritize speed, but I think now I'm kind of switching to more comfortable, like just kind of, I don't know. I think once I get my process down, which we're still working on right now, it'll be a lot easier for me.
Let's talk about your process. What does it look like for lead intake to closing? Just like the milestones that you have processes built out for.
So lead intake, I'll get the lead. I'll do an initial call, kind of vet them, see what they're looking to do, whether it's a primary, a rental, if they even want to buy. Because I get a lot of leads where the realtor refer and they're like, oh, I don't want to buy. Oh, okay, cool. So initial call, break down the process, let them know exactly what we do. Once that's done, I have like a deck slide, like first time home buyer deck slide that I kind of go and breaks down the process that my assistant made. And I'll have them review that with me, either on the first call, I'll just send it to them and we'll go down it together. Or if they're available for a Zoom call, I'll go down and review it with them on a Zoom call. So it really just depends because a lot of my clients don't know how to use Zoom or, they just would prefer a phone call. So that's usually how I'll do it. Once that's done, I'll either preferably send them my online application and they fill it out and submit docs that way, or I'll do an over the phone application and then request docs after that.
Okay.
That one is really up in the air because a lot of my clients don't know how to download pay stubs or don't know how to do a lot of electronic stuff. So they'll have to come in and bring me documents. So I'll have to scan them, upload them. So that takes a little longer. But yeah, I'll get the docs, do the approval. Once I have them approved, we either do in person or a Zoom call. So we get the face-to-face and we'll go over the approval together. And I tell them everything. Hey, this is why you're approved for this. This is your debt to income ratio. This is how I calculate what you're approved for. this is the type of, this is the insurance estimate I'm using. I go over everything with them. So I don't ever want them. This happened to me a lot when I was doing triggers, where they would talk to another lender after talking to me and say, oh, he never explained that to me. So I make sure I tell them everything, so that way I kind of cover my tracks just in case that did happen. Once the pre-approval is done, if they're good to move forward, they like the numbers, we'll send out an email. They'll get their approval. They'll get a full email. We have a template that breaks down their approval. And then we have a fee worksheet through Arrive, our loan origination system that you probably used to, that breaks down like all the closing costs, what closing costs are, stuff like that. And once that's done, either refer to a realtor or give it back to the realtor and say, hey, they're pre-approved, they can go shop. So that's like all the front end stuff. That's how we do all the front end. And then as far as document review, me and my assistant will both review like income docs and see if we're missing anything, just to make sure we have all the income dialed in. Or we'll submit to UWM or a lender if the income's a little choppy, to get like an actual income calc.
So is your assistant also pre-approving clients, or is she just reviewing the documents? Or
the main thing I have her doing right now is reviewing documents, making sure we have all the right stuff. And then I have her doing income calc as well, but I'll also do the income calc, and we'll kind of like compare the two. And if it's really complicated, which a lot of my files with the income are super complicated. I've had 3 jobs. I have one in right now. This guy has had 5 jobs in the last 2 years, all variable income. So you could probably imagine the headache of that. So in that instance, now I'm kind of just sending to UWM's scenario desk and letting them calculate for me, because getting year-end pay stubs from 4 different jobs is tough. So that's pretty much it.
Got it. Amazing. And how much time are you spending with each client before they even go under contract, would you say? You personally, not your team.
Myself, honestly, not really that much. It's really just those 2 calls, and then any other questions that they have my personal cell, so they just reach out to me whenever they need anything.
And when we include like loan work and everything, would you say it adds up to 4 hours?
Maybe
4 hours per month. That's not bad.
Yeah, I think that's,
given that you have more challenging like scenarios, that's not bad at all.
For sure. Yeah, a lot of them are tricky. I think that's a thing that's, I don't want to say affected me, but something that has been tough with trying to juggle everything is just, I get some really complicated files. And I try to take everything on, and it just,
yeah.
One feedback I'll give myself that I always say I'm going to do, but I never do, is I say, oh, I'm going to be more selective of the loans I really decide to take on, but never happens. I always just take anything and submit it and just pray that it goes through. That's like my biggest downfall. One day I'll be better about that.
It reminds me of the story of P.F. Chang and how someone knew P.F. Chang was going to be a global restaurant. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but basically this group of businessmen would always go to P.F. Chang for lunch, and one particular guy had a really complex order, like remove the bacon from a salad. And they always did it. And one day the restaurant owner or the chef comes out and says, sorry, we can't do that anymore. Maybe we're not the right place for you. And at that point, the executive knew P.F. Chang was going to grow up, because it's like they just have a process they follow now.
Right.
What is one thing? So I have 2 questions for you, because we're coming up on time here. Number 1 is, what is one thing one problem that if solved, you'll get to 20 loans a month?
I think the biggest thing is what I just touched base on, is just the whole upfront documentation request of juggling all these different files that have crazy income scenarios. And just like having clients it's really just like having clients have to go back and ask old employees for pay stubs. That's like the biggest thing that I struggle with, is it just takes a while. And it's a little tough to explain to the realtor, hey, it's going to take a little longer than 24 hours to get the approval out, because we need to do this, and this, but they want to go get them in the contract. So I don't know. I got to try to figure that out somehow. It's kind of out of my control, because we need to request old pay stubs, or the income is all over the place. But I think that's like the thing that holds me back the most, because I spend so much time on some of these approvals trying to like get the income all sorted out, and it's all crazy, and I got to get VOEs, and I think that holds me back a little bit for sure.
So one thing I learned from another loan officer for a different issue, but very similar, that might work for you as well, is his was around credit challenge clients. He created one PDF document, like very comprehensive, like, hey, reach out to your supervisor, ask for HR, send this message to HR. And he created it once and it was so complete. And he just was like, instead of like explaining to every client, like he sent that and then just monitored and checked up on it.
For sure.
But that saved a lot of time.
Idea. That's a really good idea. I'm gonna have my assistant make one of those today.
Yeah, just like it had full scripts and everything in there, just so to make it easier for the client to follow. And
100%.
final question: what's your advice to other loan officers? Let's say for other loan officers that are in like the first few years of business.
For a brand new loan officer who wants to ramp up, the first thing I would say is your weekends are gone. You need to be at open houses every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, 2 a day. If you really want to scale and do, big numbers, you got to do 3 to 4 open houses a weekend with different agents. And I know a lot of people jump from different open houses and hit open houses to try to talk to realtors. I never did that. I would just find agents to host open houses with, and I would sit there because I had 2-3 hours to build a relationship with them, and then get those potential clients. So number one, open houses, got to do them every weekend. Like you can do stuff at night from 7 at night on Saturday and Sunday. You can do whatever you want, but that first part of the day on Saturday, Sunday is so crucial because that's when everyone is out looking at home. That's when everyone's free. So you have to be available. So I would say basically kiss your weekends goodbye, at least for the early part of the day, because that's like where you're going to get your most business. That's another thing I did early on was every weekend I was hosting open houses with different agents, the ones I would refer leads to. That's one. Two, I would, one thing that I struggled with in the beginning was I would look at other LOs and I would do a lot of comparing. So I would see other LOs, damn, they're killing it. I'm not. The biggest thing I learned later on was that a lot of loan officers lie about their production. So you can't really get caught up in that. Like, oh, I'm doing 5 to 10 loans a month. They're most likely not. So that's one of the biggest things is don't get caught up in what other LOs are doing. Just kind of stay in your own path. Because I didn't do that at first. And I was struggling really bad with, my, mental health wise, because I'm like, damn, they're killing it. Why am I not? We're the same. So I try to stay away from that. Just focus on your own path, do your opens, and try to provide real value to agents, not just I can close in 2 weeks and I can, I have all these products, like help them go get business. There's so many ways to get business aside from just waiting for a referral. Help them go get business. Do the open houses with them. Do social media marketing. Share all their posts. Go on a weekend with an agent to a farmer's market. Go put a stand somewhere. Put your info out. Just get your name out there. I think doing those things there's no way it won't work if you just consistently do it. It'd be better if you locked in on one thing, like the open houses every weekend or social media, just lock in and then focus on one thing. Because if you do it enough and do it good, it'll eventually work. But I think when you're new, you can try a few different things to see what you like. So those are the main things I would say to try to do.
I love it. Just test a bunch of things out, see which one works and double down on it, and just don't stop and don't compare to anyone else.
100%.
Can loan officers reach out to you?
100%.
What's the best way for them to connect with you?
Phone. They can text or call 916-534-9412. That's my personal and business. If I don't answer, I'm actually on the other line. So I usually will always answer, but I send so many of the quick texts on the other line, call you back, on the other line, call you back. But text would be easier for an initial introduction, but yeah, they can always reach out for sure.
Amazing. Thanks for being here today, Arturo.
I appreciate it, man. This is great.